Hello everybody and welcome to another video. In this video we're going to have a look at Frostgrave Mortal Enemies, and Mortal Enemies is the new supplement for the Frostgrave game. It just arrived in March, and if you know Frostgrave, you know the name Joseph A. McCullough. The illustrations are by a rumor, which they are quite nice. It actually makes the book look really pretty. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna look inside, and now, do you really need a Mortal Enemies book? Yeah, of course you do. I mean, all good heroes have mortal enemies. But the good thing about this book is it'll tell you how to create a mortal enemy. So let's have a quick flip through. The table of contents, introduction. The writer pretty much states that his mission statement in this book is to introduce the mortal enemy and how to create him, and also to introduce, what was it, bases or strongholds. Bases, I think it's bases. The word he used was bases. Yeah, a wizard's base. So it's for you to have, and perhaps have your mortal enemy take it on. The Frostgrave is already beginning to feel a little bit like Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, if you ask me. Every new layer adds another level to the game. Now, Frostgrave, if you haven't played it, is already hard as it is. It's a tough game. But if you want to level up mortal enemies, this supplement will be a good one. So let's have a quick look again. The introduction, some nice art. There's gonna be lots of nice art in the in this book. First off, he teaches you how to create your mortal enemy. And of course, you can either randomly choose who your mortal enemy is. But later, they also recommend that, if you have a story, just create one and use this as like, where to get your stats from. Or you can roll randomly. I like it better if you were to use it from the story, So anyways, there's stat modifications for your mortal enemy. And then you got your range attacks, utility spells, out of game spells, and then there's description of the spells. Now, if you look at the book, almost every couple of pages there's art and there's miniatures. It definitely is good like that. It is evocative, and it gets you into the mood to do some Frostgrave. Then there's magical equipment and more miniatures. The miniatures actually look quite nice, actually. Puts you in the game. Then you got your gang, the gang for your oh, that looks nice. The gang for your mortal enemy. More nice looking art. Now, creating a mortal enemy in an ongoing campaign. I like this bit. So in this one, how he does it is it's woven into a game, which is great, and here's the stats that you roll up for the mortal enemy that you encounter, an enemy that you encounter in the game that later becomes your mortal enemy. So yeah, chapter 2, mortal enemies in games, arrival of mortal enemy, the deployment, the motivation. You know what, I think it's a really good idea to have a mortal enemy, because as a gamer, or as a person who's actually doing hobbying, you now get to create a second gang or band or group that you can actually use in the same game, and both made by you, right? Which is kind of great, because you can have some direction on the narrative of who your mortal enemy is, which I think is great. I mean, imagine doing two gangs, war bands, groups, and then having one being the bad guy, one being the good guy. It's quite nice. I mean, it opens up the whole hobbying aspect for the game as well, because now you can actually paint even more, and instead of using one group or the other, you can use both, opposingly in the same game. Anyways, chapter 3 is immortal enemies in campaigns, and here's how you insert your mortal enemy in the campaign. Now there's a small section on how to use mortal enemies in a solo play, and as I said earlier, Frostgrave is already hard as it is, and they show you how to scale it down a little bit, so you have a good time without being too frustrated. And then, as with most other supplements, you've got the scenarios, and these are mortal enemy scenarios. Scenario 1, Ethereal Circle. Scenario 2, Lair of the Pralicor. Uh, Scenario 3, Juggernaut. Scenario 5. I think I missed Scenario 4 here somewhere. I think I did. Yeah, Scenario 4, Murder of Crows. Scenario 5, Drop a Building on Them. Drop a building on them! And then you got base assaults. Now, this is the other part of the book which I thought was kind of interesting. That now your wizard actually now has a base that you can work from. And it also gives the opportunity for your enemy to attack it and take it on. That's a nice looking art as well. Which is cool. It's also, apparently I was reading in the introduction, he was saying that people have asked him to do scenarios where a base is involved. And after a long while, he's finally decided to do it. So yeah, so you learn how to construct the base, the rooms, the doorways. Nice piece of exploding art right there. Some nice miniatures. Setting up the scenario, divine the warband. Now this is really kind of cool because as if Frostgrave is not hard enough, and having a mortal enemy is even harder still. You now have to divide your warband, which I thought was a very interesting thing to set up for in terms of scenario. Then you got your wizard's eyes, all these different things to make your scenario where you've got an opposing group or gang trying to take on your base. The art in the book is really, really nice, and I think it helps make the book look really, really pretty. Really, really pretty. It's sprinkled all over the book, which I think is nice. Chapter 6 is new treasure. It's our added treasure, that you can add on to your vast library of like books and different equipments and stuff like that. Which also means you get a new bestiary, new creatures that you can put in the game, and your mortal enemy sheet and some new attributes and stuff like that. That's pretty much the book. Mortal Enemies second edition. Now, if I was you, I would definitely pick the book up, simply because at some point, you want to do a second gang, and the second gang can be the mortal enemy, and it's nice to be able to play both gangs in the same book. Also, the other thing that's kind of nice is the fact that they've tooled you up on or cued you in, or give you some tips on how to build your wizard's base, which is a nice thing, because now you can actually, like, later if you're doing hobbying, you can actually go in and hobby and create your own base, which is kind of nice. All those pieces that you get from companies like Dungeons and Lasers can come into this game, and you can actually build your own base, which I think is a really nice element. In the Dungeon Dragon set, when the strongholds started coming in and we started building strongholds back in the day, it was another element which I thought was really, really nice. It takes what was simple and added another level of complexity, which I think is a fantastic thing to put on. And of course, you're not a great hero until you have a great enemy, right? Not nemesis, enemy, mortal enemy. Batman has the Joker, right? Superman has Lex Luthor, Noel has Liam, stuff like that. And because of that, I think adding that element of the mortal enemy is really, 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 really gold. It's fire, definitely. So have you tried the rule set yet? It's new. It's only been out for a couple of months. I'm not so sure if you have tried it. Let me know if it's good, whether you like having a mortal enemy. But let me just say that Frostgrave is hard enough as it is. So this is for folks who really want to level up, and I think this is a nice way to level up instead of making things more difficult in terms of adding more equipment, adding more unnecessary attributes. Right? You just add another cast to the show or to your game. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Frostgrave, mortal enemies. If you like flip throughs like this, let me know, and I'll be more than happy to do more for you. Until then, like, subscribe, and don't forget to enjoy painting those figures.